Hello, we are Team 18 and we will now give a short update on our process improvement project, which we have named Paperweight Room to Improve. This project aims to expedite the patient referral pathway in the Paediatric Rheumatology Service in Children's Health Ireland at Crumlin. Our team members are Owen Fitzgerald, Cormac Duff, Cleona Hennigan, Orla McFeely and myself, Amanda Green. I will now hand over to Cleona, who will give an overview of our work to date.
Thanks, Amanda. When a child is reviewed in the rheumatology clinic, a letter is sent to the other clinicians involved in the patient's care. This process contains the following 5 steps. 1. The NCHD dictates the letter. 2. The secretary then types up the draft. 3. The NCHD reviews and edits the draft. 4. The consultant then reviews and signs off on the letter. And 5. The secretary then prints the final letter for posting. The problem that we identified with this process is that there are currently significant delays in the time taken for letters to be completed and posted out to the clinicians. This in turn poses a risk to patient safety. In this project, we aim to analyse the current process with a view to looking for opportunities to optimise its efficiency. Our goal is to reduce the average time from dictation to postage of letters from the department, from a median baseline of 4 months to a target of 2 months median by March 2023. We used the SMART goal method to ensure our goals were specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and timely. We created a sandbox to determine what was in and what was out of scope, and decided to focus on each of the steps of the process, from the dictation of the letter through to the letter being placed in the postage area. We developed a SIPOC to take a high-level look at the process, inputs, outputs and stakeholder involvement. And we carried out a stakeholder analysis, a communication plan, a voice of the customer analysis and critical to quality tree to further inform the next stage of our project.
Having defined the problem and highlighted our aims, the next stage was the measurement phase. Although there was a general awareness in the rheumatology department that there were big delays with our letters, the true extent had not been defined. We therefore needed to collect data from our electronic system called G2 to explore this further. As explained by Cleona, the letters go through a number of different stages before completion. We mapped this out in our current state flow map in order to examine the process in more detail. This allowed us to determine the number of letters sitting in each stage, in addition to the total number of letters awaiting completion. We were also able to calculate how long each letter had been sitting in the system awaiting completion. As can be shown, the data showed that there was a total of 621 letters awaiting completion. By measuring the data from the system, we were also able to determine which stages of the process had the longest delays and use this to focus our improvement interventions on the key bottlenecks. The consultant sign-off phase was found to have the longest delays, as shown, with a median of 4.5 months and the longest wait time of 8 months. This highlighted the extent of the problem as well as showing significant variation in the wait times. Based on our literature review and a better understanding of how to apply lean principles in healthcare projects, we were able to identify some areas of over-processing in our current process. Currently, all letters were signed off both by an NCHD and a consultant, whereas a single sign-off would suffice for certain letters. By removing this redundancy, we expect to be able to improve the efficiency of the process and reduce delays. Similarly, using the principles of Six Sigma, we noted significant variability in the durations for letters being completed and sent out from our department, with some letters taking up to 8 months to be completed as mentioned. This variability can have significant impacts on patient care, given that patients feel the variability, not the average. In order to help reduce this variability, we are looking to make use of standardisation as part of this project. We have noted through our work that a subsection of commonly occurring referral letters lend themselves to using standardised template letters, which we plan to develop and implement. Adopting these standardised templates would significantly reduce the variability with these letters, in addition to reducing non-value add of reproducing multiple similar letters, therefore incorporating the principles of both Lean and Six Sigma.
Following the initial data analysis of the measure phase and early engagement with our stakeholders, We felt that standardising letters to reduce variation and streamlining the correction process where appropriate would significantly improve efficiency, as Owen has explained. This is a potential future state as we await further survey completion by our stakeholders. This future state could include an initial decision point, indicated by the green triangle, based on the type of letter being created, whereby certain letter types would be suitable for bypassing some of the steps in the existing process. As we work through the project with the stakeholders, we would need to decide which types of letters would be suitable for each of the 3 different pathways. So in pathway A, simple referral letters that are amenable to using a standard template letter would be established. These standardised templates would need to be developed and agreed upon as part of the project. In this pathway, the type letters will be created directly by the NCHD. In order to create the letter, the NCHD simply has to select the appropriate template from a drop-down menu, which would then auto-populate the patient information, and the NCHD can then quickly and easily add in any relevant additional information to the template, such as patient's diagnosis. This pathway will primarily be used for ophthalmology referral letters, which a majority of our patients require as part of their standard screening programme. These letters are also time critical, so this will reduce clinical risk. Pathway B will be used for relatively simple referral letters which are not suitable for a standard template as described in Pathway A, but given their relatively simple nature they will not require a consultant sign-off, and so the NCHD review of the transcribed letter is considered sufficient. This will reduce workload for consultants and will help to reduce delays while maintaining the quality of the letters. The types of letters that fall into this pathway will also need to be agreed upon. Pathway C is the same as the current state, so these letters will need to follow the same steps as the current state. This pathway is for letters that do not meet the criteria to move into either pathway A or B. However, the volume of letters going through this pathway would be reduced given the alternative pathways described, which should improve the efficiency of the process.